Hello there, and welcome back to Tatooine Tableflip. I'm Jimmy, and today I'm going to be unboxing Heroes of Terrinoth, designed by Adam and Brady Sadler and released by Fantasy Flight Games. Let's get this to the table and have a look. Okay, so this is Heroes of Terrinoth. The first thing I wanted to show you guys was this gorgeous mat. This is the play mat that you can order along with the game, and holy cow, it is beautiful. You can see it's got this nice map of the land of Terrinoth around here. There's spaces up there for the different decks of cards you're going to be playing. You can't see it, I think, on camera, but maybe we can scoot it down a little bit. You can see there's a nice logo up at the top there. And this thing is massive. It's just over 2 feet by 2 feet square. It is huge. So plenty of play area for at least one person, but you could probably get a couple of people squeezed in. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing open. This is, of course, the game proper. First thing we have is the brand new Fantasy Flight catalog showing Keyforge at the front. I'm excited for this game as well. And of course the rulebook, and surprisingly there's not a learn to play and reference. And typical Fantasy Flight quality. So the parts list at the front there we go, components list. And there might be some slight spoilers through the video here, so tread with caution if you haven't picked this game up or played through it yet, because I'm going to be looking at a few of the cards as I go through this, but nothing too deeply spoilery, I hope. Typical FFG guide, goes through the rules, looks like it's pretty intuitive. Some examples. So far what I'm seeing is almost the exact same game as Warhammer Quest, which, by the way, if those of you who don't know, this is a reskin of. When Fantasy Flight lost the Warhammer license from Games Workshop, they own the mechanics for the game, so they just reskinned it with their proprietary world of Terrinoth heroes and whatnot. These look like the scenario cards. We'll have a quick look through those. The Goblin Problem, Foul Ritual. Whoa, there's quite a few. Looks like 8. Laid out basically the same, again, as Warhammer Quest was. And yeah, looks like it's going to be pretty easy to dive right back into that. Of course, the token sheet. No, they changed the tokens up from Warhammer Quest a little bit. So these are the wound tokens. If I understand correctly, these are the wound tokens. These are the success tokens. These are the explore tokens. And the explore tokens are double-sided. Yep, I thought I had read that. And then, of course, the peril token and the first player torch looks effectively the same as the torch from the other version of the game. We have the set of specialty dice, 3 and 3. The symbols are slightly different on these. Looks like the success and defense, that is probably the super defense. Let's see. That is the, what was it called? The peril effect, I think, on the main bad guy. I'll bet that's what that's for. And then, of course, the strike back or the counterattack of the creatures that might be engaged with your hero. Look at some of these. These are the... I know a little bit about the game already, so pardon me if I get some of the names wrong or something. I'm going on what I remember from Warhammer Quest. So look like these are the Explorer. Oh, these are new. Okay, and there's Explorer cards, and I don't recall. These look like maybe. Oh, I see. These are the conditions: poisoned, weakened, and focused. And these, of course, are the exploration cards. I don't recall what they were called in the prior version. I'll get that before my final thoughts, but you know, it's items and different things you can find within the adventures. They have that nice coating, the linen finish that I like. Seem pretty sturdy. You're probably going to want to sleeve these, and I'll talk more about that again at the end. Oh, these, okay. So I'll talk about these at the end. These are the player count cards, I believe they're called. And it's, if there's 2 players, everybody gets one of these. If there's 3, everyone gets one of these. If there's 4, nobody gets any. These look like our characters. Oh, they're named. My understanding was that they would not be. And wow, there's quite a few in here. That's terrific. Okay, and then it looks like creature cards. I don't know if you can see up here in the corner, there's a little critter head. This little guy means that it's easy difficulty level. This bigger head means that it's a median. And I think, yeah, I saw it look like a dragon. That's the most difficult level. So as you can see, it's really easy to separate the creatures out this time instead of level 1, level 2, the thing they did in the original version of the game. There's going to be a lot of comparisons to the original version because, again, it's a reskin of Warhammer Quest. And this game is pretty much the same, near as I can tell so far, but there are quite a few minor differences. These look like the action cards. These are the basics. Oh, these must be the advanced. Now they get actual names: Spirit Seeker, Healer, Discipline, Scout Basic. Wow, there's a lot of them. Oh, this gives you basics and then like upgraded classes as well. That's terrific. Wow, there's loads of them. And of course some more critters back here, and then the area cards, and then reference cards. And as I usually do, just in case, no specialty hidden under the insert. Well, there you have it, Heroes of Terrinoth. This, as I mentioned earlier, is a reskin of this guy right here. I absolutely adore this game. This is one of my favorite games ever, and I was really, really sad when this thing bit the dust so quickly after its release. This thing hit hard and fast, and everybody went kind of crazy for it, and then wham, just almost immediately it just died, and that's due to Fantasy Flight losing the GW license. But as it turned out, not a big deal. They own the mechanics, and they reskinned it with their proprietary world of Terrinoth, and here we are at a new version of the game, which, after I've now read through the rulebook and I've looked at the components a little bit better and stuff since the middle segment, the unboxing, I see that the game has been tightened up quite a bit, and there's some minor differences, but for the most part the game plays exactly the same. So if you've played Warhammer Quest before, there's really relatively little here that's new. And even then, it's things like the different dice symbols I pointed out during the unboxing, the difficulty level attached to the monsters and the locations, and then these little guys right here. I think this is a great idea. If you have played Warhammer Quest, you know before it was a different card that showed how many players in the game, meaning how many heroes, not how many actual people, but how many heroes. Now, if there's less than 4, as I pointed out during the unboxing, you get one of these player count cards, or hero count cards, I think they're called actually, and those give you an extra amount of life and I forget, is it a little ability? Sorry, I didn't actually read these cards, but yeah, during the hero phase, after all heroes, the party leader chooses a hero to activate a second time. That's at 3 players. At 2 players, everybody activates twice. Let's see. The game is co-op, so it's completely soloable. if that's a word. And so that means you can play it by yourself, and you can play it at 1 hero, 2 heroes, all 4 heroes. However, the game recommends that you play it at 2 heroes, and I recommend you play it at 2 heroes, because if the scenarios in this one are anything like the scenarios in the last one, it can get brutal pretty quick, and that's due to the peril track, and there's some peril effects on the scenario cards. Speaking of which, these are a little more, I've only looked at a couple of them a little closer since the unboxing bit, but while they're more succinct and there's quite a bit more information on them, in my opinion, they're also a little less visually arresting than the prior version's cards. And I know I'm going to be comparing this a lot to the last one, but it's only because it's kind of a big deal in the community right now that this game actually ever saw the light of day again. Everybody that I know that has played or been remotely involved in playing Warhammer Quest. That was a poor way to put it. Sorry about that. But it's late here. They love the game. And I almost sidetracked myself. See, they love the game, and they loved it. And everyone I've known who's loved it a lot. I've heard of or known very few people who didn't like the game. And even then, it wasn't like, oh, I hate it. It was more just a meh. And they just decided they weren't going to buy it, or they just walked away. And if they played it, great. If not, then, no big deal. They weren't missing anything. But I think probably 98% of the people I've ever read about or spoken to, let's put it that way, absolutely loved Warhammer Quest. And so now we have all been going bonkers since this was announced some time ago. We have all been going crazy waiting for this thing to come out, and I am so happy to have it. And because I was recording this, and then tomorrow I've got a gaming event I'm going to and some errands to run in the morning, I actually can't get to this thing until late Saturday night, and it's making me crazy. I want to play it right now, and unfortunately, like I said, it's late here. I don't have time. But let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the cards all have the linen finish on them. You guys know how I like my linen finish. So I love that. I'm probably going to sleeve everything. These days I don't sleeve things so much if they don't get handled a lot, but I foresee like the monster cards and the hero cards and the action cards are going to be handled quite a bit. So even though they're really, really high quality, you're probably going to want to sleeve them up. Some of the artwork I've noticed is, I've played Descent and a couple of other Terrinoth based games, and I see some of the artwork I recognize, but this is something FFG does across all of their games. Once they commission art, they pretty much use the bejesus out of it, right? So that's nothing new, but some of it is new to me. That's not to say that it's new to the game. Let's see. It comes with just this tiny little batch of tokens. There's not many, as you saw during the unboxing. It was 1 sheet of cardboard. There's not a lot there. It does, however, something I love is that instead of just 4 hero cards, I think in the last game there was 8. There was 2 of each, if I recall. I haven't opened the darn thing in a while, so you'll have to excuse me. But this one has 12. It's a lot. There's quite a few, and not only it's just not healer or archer or anything like that. We have some named characters, and then with the action cards, as you can see here, and you can't see well. There's loads of them, and in the last game we had your set of 4 cards per character, and it was your basic level and your advanced level. And this gives us way more than that. And so it looks like there's actually, you can class out. So as your guys progress in between the scenarios, they can actually, your healer can become a little more spiritual or whatever. And I haven't looked too close at him yet because I don't want to spoil anything for myself, as weird as that may sound. But look how many are here. There's loads of them. And so I foresee that the replay, again, it's late here, sorry. The replayability of the game is extremely high, and that's because I could probably play this particular character right here and never really, at least for some time, have the same type of game twice, if that makes sense. I love this idea. I wish this would have been in the prior version, but you know what? I'm glad it's here now, so that's all I care about it. All the heroes have unique abilities on them. The ones in the prior game did as well, but I don't recall. It's been a while since I played the last one. I don't recall they were, but if I remember correctly, we didn't use them a lot, unless it was you could take an extra action or something like that. Let's see. The new thing is, one of the new things that I wanted to talk about, these are the success tokens, and in the prior version of the game, when you used the assist action, you could give another player or by some other mechanic in the game, you could gain these success tokens. You had to attach them to your action cards, and they capped out at, if I remember correctly, 3 each. In this version, when you give these to another player, they just go in front of you, so you can use them for any action. I think that is brilliant. So it's kind of powering up that action as you go through the game, so you don't have to pick an action, attach them to it, and then hope that you get to use that action later to be able to use those success tokens. Now you can just use them for anything. However, you get a 5 token cap in your pool in front of you, and once you get to 5, you can't have any more. Let's see, I think that's about really all I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to get too deep into it because I don't want to spoil anything for me or for you, any more than I have already. And yeah, all I can really say now is that I am extremely happy to have this. Oh, by the way, you can't see it now because I've got the stuff all over it, but look at this. This mat is huge. It's giant, and I think if you play conservatively, space-wise, you could fit 3 people around this thing with the monster decks and location decks there across the top. As you saw during the unboxing, they have their own spaces up there. But this thing is gorgeous. If you can find one, they're pretty much sold out everywhere. Grab it. It's totally worth having, in my opinion. It just kind of brightens the game. Does that make sense? Maybe that's poor wording, but I suggest grabbing one if you happen to run across it. That's going to do it for this unboxing, you guys. Thanks for watching. You can find me on all of the socials as BoardGamerBlues. You can contact me via email. It's JIMMIE@BoardGamerBlues.com. And what else? Oh, we have a Patreon. It's Patreon/BoardGamerBlues. Or, sorry, no. Patreon/Tatooine Tableflip. Get the right page. So, yeah, if you think you like what we're doing and you want to maybe pitch a little cash at us, go over there and have a look at our levels and stuff. I haven't plugged in any rewards, so to speak, in there yet, but I want to do some podcast episodes. I want to do some extra episodes of the show, some review episodes, things like that, to plug in for anybody who becomes a supporter over there of the show and the pod and the website. Speaking of the website, it's BoardGamerBlues.com, and I have a bunch of written reviews over there that are not covered on the show, so if you'd like to pop over there and have a look, I'd appreciate that as well. And yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks you guys again for watching, and I will see you next time on Tatooine Tableflip. Bye.